Hey friends, welcome back to Opimation. For those of you who are new to this video and channel, my name's OP. I'm an animator in the video games industry. And in this video, we're going to be carrying on animating Thep, the run, but we'll be focusing on the spine and we'll be doing the arms. So we'll get all that working right and we'll get it into a cycle. So we get it like an in-game run cycle. So you know how it works, how we do stuff in game, you know, how to get the tangents all flowing freely. So without further ado, let's dive in. All right, guys, so let's check this run out. And what we'll do, we'll start adding the torso movements in, yeah? So what we'll do, so here's the run. So what we know is when you run and you step, you're gonna run, step, and then take the weight, run, step, and then take the weight. So there's gonna be two C's to show the weight shift. So this is how we're gonna go about. So here we can see step, take the weight. So we know here what we can do is we'll move the X direction and then we'll try and create a kind of, what we're trying to create is a weight shift and an overall shape like that. So that's wrong, let's do it. Let me put it here. So we basically want a shape like that, and then on the other leg, we want a change in shape like that. So we're trying to get that. So we can if we slightly rotate the hips, and if we slightly rotate this middle, so we're trying to get, and if we can get the pole vectors here, move that out a bit. And let's see, I mean, normally, let's try and do the head as well. We can do that after, but I'm trying to get a kind of, let's push this a bit. So I don't want it too off balance. So we want to get that kind of a shape going where you're kind of getting it like that, you know? So it's kind of like this. Oh, sorry. This pen. So it's kind of like this. So you're seeing those changes happening each time it steps. So we've got that in. And then what we'll do, we'll go to the next one, which is here, which is going to be contact, step, take weight. And then we'll just go and do the same here. We'll get the pole vector and move that. Yeah, that's it. And then we'll kind of rotate this way, just to give that illusion. Just try and create that C shape. Might be pushing it a bit there, but we can always equal that out in the graph editor. So we've got kind of these happening, yeah? So at the moment it's all rocky, right? Because our interpolations in the graph editor are like that. So what we'll do, we'll go into the graph editor, which is here. I'll bring it here so we can do it properly together. And I'll just split the screen. So that is below here. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll get the hips first. So let's work on the hips, huh? Let's try and get that working right. So what we'll do, let's check out the rotations. So the rotations we had was here. So as you can see here, it's going block, up, block. So what we can do here is let's get rid of these middle ones. So we've got that nice flow going, yeah? And then we'll kind of just match these because when we cycle, it'll go through smoothly. So that's going to be the Z rotation. And then we had the side to side, which seems fine there. What we can do here is all these middle keys here, we'll put them all to the same value as 0. So if we go up here, 0, yeah? And then what we'll do, here is, we'll just grab the values without the negative and copy that, and then put it onto the same high points here, because then it'll be equal distance both ways. And then here we can just clean these out. I mean, you don't have to, but I like to do it as good practice. And then even here we can just clean these up, make them go. The reason I'm doing this is, the reason I'm doing this is because when we cycle, when I press these and we cycle, you can see they're following through nicely, right? Well, if I left it flat, then you see it would have gone like that and then gone straight down, which means you wouldn't get a good cycle when you're doing a run cycle in games. So it's very important to do that, to match the tangent straight like that. Okay, so we've got that working smoothly. Now, step by step, we'll move on to the next one. So this one, as you can see here, it's blocked, right? It's going pose, pose. So what we can do now here is just grab everything, go to flat, and then delete these. And also you can just straighten these out a bit as well. And here we can grab this and be like, all right, this is 7. If we go up to here, copy this, check out the value here. All right, this is -10. So we'll just paste it in, but keep the negative because it's going below negative, yeah? And that is equal distance. So we know it's rotating equal distance now. And then the next one at the top, and that's going to be the same. So the same thing, we'll flatten this. I flatten it by pressing Alt-F. It's a shortcut. I'll do a video on that, how to do shortcuts, because it just makes the workflow so much easier instead of going up here and pressing it, because Maya is so customizable. You can do it pretty much how you want to. So we'll delete that. Again, find the value here and paste it here. So they're equal. I can't find a setting on here where the rotations, well, I mean, this is fine. It's not affecting the head, so that's all right. So if we do play this now, see, you're getting, you can see it's a bit of a smoother transition happening side to side, yeah? So we're getting that change happening. And then what else we can do is, if we go to the top one and we go to the start, if we look at the hips here, they're rotating that this way. And if we look at the value, it's -40. So what we're going to do, the shoulders are going to be opposing. So what we can do with the shoulders is move it the other way. And then we can make that 40. So we're properly making it opposed. And then we can middle click to 70 in the end. And then in the middle, we can do the same, but go to -40, because it's going to be the opposing way, right? So this is facing, the shoulders are facing this way, where the hips are facing this way. So that's what we're trying to get. We're trying to oppose it as well. And then if we look in the shoulder here, you can see that it's all blocked. So we just flatten that and delete the in the middle. So if we check that out, it's going side to side, right? Now what we can do is, if we look at the hands, we select these hand controls here and go to fist. Because he's running, let's get them in a fist. Go to the control there and just press control and middle button, and you can control. If you press shift, it does it quicker. Control is slightly slower, but it's still the same thing there. Now, if we go into the graph editor here, select both of those hand controls, and you'll see there's keys on every frame. If I go to the next frame, it's going to open. So what you want to do, you just want to select the keys after one and just delete those, so it always stays closed. Now what we can do is, if we go to the start, we know the arms are going to be opposing. So this arm, we can rotate forward. So we're going to try and get a run where we want to put a little bit of like posing in like that, exaggerate a bit, right? So it's going to run like this, or however you want it to run. Your character, you choose it. Get this, I like to go into the channels here and do them individually. Just better control like that, you know. And then this one at the back, we can follow. Basically, you're following. So if we just do that, and then what we'll do, we'll bring it back like that, inward, and then out. So we want to get it in a nice line. We want to get this in a nice line too. Just trying to match. Just try and get a nice flow going like this. You can always tweak it later. So it's following the shoulders, so it doesn't feel broken. This is the shoulder control, so you can play around with that if you like. And I'll just do it. I'll move it back like that actually. Move this one. So this is just for examples sake, yeah. So let's check that out. But we want it up. We want to do it up a bit. So we select that. Move this up a bit. Maybe something like that. There, that's a bit better. Okay. Maybe have this come out a bit. So if we select the arm controls here, and the wrist, let's check the wrists as well, and then key everything at 1, middle click it to 17, and in the middle, obviously if you go into your graph editor, it's going to be stepped, so just delete everything in the middle. And select this. Yeah, delete this as well. Middle click that. Make sure it's the same pose, end and start. Rig messes up a bit there. Don't know why that's happening. Okay, maybe the rig is a bit broken there. Oh, wicked, that's all right. Okay, so what we'll do is select this. I just undid that. So let's select this. It seems to be all right. Yeah. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just delete everything in the middle. Oh, okay, that's fine. So we've got those poses in. Now, halfway through, so it comes here. So that's the first contact. Second contact is going to be opposing, right? So we need to move this one back and compose it how we want, and move this one forward. Get it up like that. Push this back a bit. Just find a pose you like and work with that. Okay, let's see. I think there might be, yeah. If you look at this graph editor here, it's still in stepped mode. That's why it's holding pose to pose. So if we just flatten that out, check the other curves. Yep, flatten these out. So you're just going here, just selecting everything and pressing this flat. Let's check out the wrist. The wrist is fine. Let's check this out. Okay, that's the same. Select everything and flat. Forearm, that's fine. Forearm here, was that the same? Oh, there was a difference. So let's check out the middle. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So if we look now, there should be a bit of a motion. So you're getting that. Let's check the controls off. So there's a bit of the arm movements, getting it a bit animated there, isn't it? So Let's check out the front. So if we look at it now, that's quite high. So what we can do is we can make this one higher. So the left hand is fine. So what we'll do, we'll just make this higher. Just get it up high. So it matches like that one. Actually that one, yeah, that one, let's check that out. Elbows up, that's fine. So you're just trying to match generally. You may want to lift it a bit, bring this in a bit. So we've got like a same, bring this down a bit, slightly out. So if we look at this, so we've got a bit of this run happening. Elbows in the air, depending on what style you want. This is just for example's sake. But what we can do now is we can start maybe adding some breakdowns here. So what here we can be like, all right, the arm comes down. And then we might want to even delete this. So as the arm comes down, it comes up. So this, actually might want to delay it. So we could be like, delay it there. And then if we get the other arm, we could have that going back. And then what we'll do later on, we can offset that. So if we look at this arm, select it, maybe delay it a bit, maybe have it, or move it back, sorry. And then we can get the wrist, maybe have it go up a bit, so it's going through, then coming back. So let's see how that feels. Okay. Now we can do, maybe we could add a bit of head movement. So if we go in the middle, delete all these frames, because they've all been keyed. Remember, we key on everything. As it goes high, maybe the head goes up. Maybe here it's down, so we can copy that. More it's in stepped mode, I think. That's why it's snapping, yep. So we just flatten that out. But we don't want it to go up too much. Normally it stays still when you're running. We want to add a little bit of movement. Not too much. But what we can do is, we've got that working. What we can do is, if I look at the hips here, let's check the hips out here. So if we copy this, so we'll copy that, and then go to the root, delete everything in Z except for the first bit, and paste that there. If we go to edit scale, it's flipped it opposite. So what that means is it should run on the spot now. So if I do it now, or maybe not. Let's check this. Maybe if I mute separate, let's have a look. There was something here. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so what it was, I just had to copy and paste. So what I did, I just selected this and just pasted it, and it runs on the spot, right? So we've got it running on the spot, which is cool. So we've got a bit of that happening. Now what we can do, for example, if we go into the forearm, we press this cycle, or you can go to curves, post infinity cycle, but there's buttons here as well, right here, and here, so you can use them. So what I'll do now, if I select everything and I'll just cycle everything, then we can go in one by one and sort out that little pause at the end. Okay, so if we go into the hips, if you look at the hips, here you can see up. So what we'll do, we'll just copy these poses, copy these values and equal them out. So it's all equal. So we'll just get these tangents smooth. This is smooth already. That's fine. Okay, if you notice your animation not cycling properly, it's because these tangents here are probably flat, like I mentioned before, and you want to smooth it. You want it to go smooth into the other one. So that's very important. And then we've got the arms, which will be fine. Normally they are fine. Oh, there you go, we'll flatten that. So let's go through the controls and check this out. Flatten this. Then we'll do flatten, which is this one. I'm just pressing Alt-4 because it's a shortcut for me. That's fine. The upper on that is fine. Let's check the shoulder. So we'll go through all of these. Tangents, that's fine. They look smooth to me. That looks smooth. Let's just, there you go. It's much more smoother there. So you're getting a much more smoother feel there, right? Okay, so we're getting that working. So what we'll do now, we can be like, all right, let me check out the wrist here. If I go in here, graph editor, I can move all the keys, maybe 2 frames. Get the other wrist, 2 frames. So let's have a look. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, there's a bit of a delay. So you're getting that kind of fluidity that you could even move that. And then maybe the end ones, what you could do with the end keys. So if you could even try moving them back, try playing around, move these, and now if you see it now, there's a bit more of a kind of fluidity there. And then if you think, all right, I want to delay that, I want to delay that more, you can move it forward a bit more and see if that feels all right. If it doesn't, move it back a bit. right? And then you could even go to the next one, this one, and move this forward one to help break down. Let's go back here, move this forward one. So you're starting to get that kind of fluidity. Same thing with the other side. You could select the forearm, select the keys in it and move it one. Select the wrist, move that 1, 2. Check that out, see how that looks. I think when it gets to there, we need to just move it a bit like that. Just keep playing around like this, move these curves. There you can start to see a bit of a delay. If you want a bit more of delay, move it forward a bit. There's a bit more of a delay there, as you can see in the hand. So it's just going back and forth. And then what we can do here, so once we've got all that working, what we can do, we can just, for now, let's see if there is face control here. What's this? This is for moving it down, isn't it? Yeah. And then we've got, what's this one? That's squash and stretch. That's for later when we want to polish. This is evil. Normal. Oh. Okay, so if I open this and then do ooh, all right, that's cool. Teeth mode, evil. All right, that's the evil mode. Let's keep it as nice. Okay, cool. What we can do here is we can just leave it slightly open. If we delete everything in the middle and just copy that first pose to the last. So it's slightly open, and then maybe we can just, as it's, so what we'll do is we come here, high point, here we can be like slightly in, so it's like down, or the other way, right? So if we're at that, that's contact, so it's open. Let's try and keep it a bit more closed there. Copy that. Then as he goes up, open, back down, close, and then or we can keep it, I think we should keep it open all the way, right? So let's copy that same pose, let's keep it open like all the way. Slightly open and then maybe a little closed so it makes it look a bit natural. In a bit. Let's delete, zero that out. One axis. There, so there's a slight bit of open, close, open, close. Okay, so we've got a bit of offset happening there. Side to side is happening with the weight loss. Weight loss. Weight shift. Bang, bang. What else is on this rig? Let's check. So yeah, so that's basically, that's the arms and torso. So we're getting it kind of shifting the right way, left, right, left, right. Just for this example, you know, basic example, just to see how the arms, how you can offset the arms to make it a bit more natural. And then you can play around with that more, break these down more if you want. You know, you could come here. You could even say, all right, I want to move his arm forward. So if you look at that now, and then you could offset that one more. See how that is? So it's getting a bit more looser there. But if for a run, you want it a bit, not too loose, but you know, stiff. But yeah, so that's the arms and torso. So that's the main gist of it. You know, you want to, obviously you can select everything now. You can also select it and squeeze it all in, make it quicker, make it however you want. But as long as you start getting the basic mechanics down of it, and then get the speed right, and then offset. Because if you do it after, you can do it after, but it won't mess things up, because you can find a pose that matches, and on the timeline find another pose that matches, and just use that time frame to get everything cycling properly. So it's not a big problem. But yeah, that's all. That's what you need to do for what I do for a run. Just want to make sure you get all the line. The main things you want to get is you want to do step, weight shift, get that nice line, and then you've got step, weight shift. Where's it gone? Step, weight shift, and then you want to get the line, opposing line, right? Shape. You want to get that shape. That's what's going to show the difference. And then we can work out these arms as well. You know, they could be a bit more cleaner. You know, you can add more nice lines. Sorry, like this. So that's in the polishing stage. So that will be in the next video. But here, that's most of the things I kind of think about when I'm doing a run. It's the weight shift and the shape. I'm seeing the overall shape. And then I'll go back and I'll tweak a bit of, like, for example here, the leg. I'll bring this up like that. So overall, you're getting a nice shape like that. And then what's happening is you got a nice overall rectangle shape, how we talked about shapes. But that's in the next video. We'll go over all that, and we'll start to refine and polish the run, because we're kind of feeling we're getting the mechanics right. Hey guys, I hope you found that video informative and of some value. If you did, please could you share and like and subscribe. That would help my channel a lot. And I will be doing more videos coming out on polishing in the future. But in the meantime, there was a question someone asked about the viewport, about the Play Blast, how to get that kind of ambient occlusion, rendered motion blur type effect. So I'll probably do that video next to show you the settings of that, and which is pretty useful because you don't have to sit there and render your whole scenes. You can just do the Play Blast and it looks kind of, you know, rendered. So it gives that kind of look. So I'll go through that, and then we'll go through the polishing of this video. But in the meantime, happy animating and have fun animating.